Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, the founder, chairman, and CEO of Federated Media, John Battelle.
How you doing? Down. Okay, you can turn the music down, thank you. I'm not supposed to, I always feel like I have to start dancing or something here. Welcome to the fourth CM Summit. This one is kind of special for a lot of reasons. First of all, it's our second one in New York City. It's great to be here in New York City. I mean, this is a Broadway theater. I feel like saying hello, Mr. President. It's got the boxes and everything. Folks up in the first, even in the third balcony up there. Hi, up there. We have an amazing show for you here today and tomorrow. It's really the best lineup I think we've ever put together. It's certainly our largest registered crowd, and there's certainly something in the air. When we came together to figure out the focus, this, was probably November. Do you guys remember November? It felt real good, didn't it? November. That's about when every single financial institution in the world was on its knees, and we weren't certain whether or not most of the American industry was going to make it. Today we had the news that GM went into bankruptcy. How many of you have contracts with GM? I wasn't saying I did, but I do. But it wasn't a very, very good time, and it was not easy to have optimism in the fall of last year, but we do. And so that's why we focused on case studies and what works. And so over the next 2 days, you're going to see a ton of case studies of things that have worked or things that might not have and what we might learn from them. First, though, I want to thank the sponsors who have made this possible. I don't know if I need my clicker to make that happen. Our diamond sponsors, Thomson Reuters. You can see they're building right across Times Square. Thank you very much, Thomson Reuters, for making this possible. And our platinums, Intel, American Express, LinkedIn, PostRank, SpringPad, and Verizon. Thank you very much, all of you. And our event sponsor, social media and media sponsors, the IAB, Internet Week, this is the opening event of Internet Week, so we have all week to be internet-like. And Mashable, which is a wonderful guide to social media that is part of the Federated family. Before we go into that, can we go to a rest slide? Because we don't need to take a look at that. I'm not quite doing that yet. I'm going to try to do 30 slides in 5 minutes, but not quite yet. So we can put a rest slide up, back of house. Okay, so we have 5 conversations over the next 2 days. We have a conversation with a leading thinker in the VC world, an investor in Twitter. Conversation with the man responsible for Microsoft's advertising strategy, the woman who faced the press on behalf of the White House as the entire media world shifted to digital, a chief marketer at Intel charged with moving billions to digital, and the founder and CEO of one of the largest social networks in the world. So those are the 5 conversations. But we have a focus on case studies, cases from GE, Procter & Gamble, American Express Open, Microsoft, Google, and many, many more. And then a few curveballs, companies that we just thought were interesting and might point towards where marketing is going. Are going to show you their technologies. So that's kind of cool. I want to step back a second and say Federated has some news, and I can't help myself with all of you in the room not to tell you how excited I am. We are making some moves in some markets. Today we announced Serious Eats and Apartment Therapy have joined the Federated family. So I don't know if Ed Levine and Maxwell Gillingham-Ryan are here. I don't know if you're here yet or not, but welcome Apartment Therapy and Serious Eats. These are categories that we're very interested in moving forward in women's interest. First of all, before I do my 30 slides and 70, please do this, because I always forget, and then it buzzes, and so I'm going to actually turn it off on stage. There, now it's off. All right, here we go. I did a little bit of framing thoughts, and it really helped to be on American Airlines flying here yesterday because there's Wi-Fi, so I could get all the logos done, which has saved me about an hour last night. But let's talk about marketing in Quicksilver. This is an idea that sort of came to me, and if you don't like it, then tell me at the break, and I'll come up with a better one. But it seemed to make sense to me because media used to be very easy to understand. It was convenient, it was packaged, it had its engaged audiences attached to it, it scaled. Big magazines, big television shows, big newspapers. And all those audiences and all those publishers with that big scale and those convenient packages understood the contract between the advertiser and the audience. Now a word from your sponsor, right? But now, every marketer seems to be a publisher. Every publisher is now a marketer. Every consumer is both. And the contract between everything is being written even as we meet here today. Media is fluid, it's diverse, it's quicksilver. It's hard to get your arms around because your customer's attention is flitting from place to place. Even when they're on Facebook, they're not in some big portal. They're in a small piece, loosely joined, of attention that they are weaving throughout the whole web. They may be on Twitter, they may be on blogs, they may be on Facebook, they may be on a new video site, they may be on an application or a tool on the web that is helping them get their work or their play on, times about 1,000, right? So, how do you get your arms about all that if you're a marketer? Ad networks? They have scale and they have data. They can tell you how you behave and the context in which you behave, but they lack something, which I call a soul. I'm not being mean, I'm just being honest. Your customers don't join ad networks. They join conversations. Websites, the good ones, the best ones, are all conversations. Brands, the good ones, the best ones, are all conversations. The web's a conversation. And these conversations are navigated now through search, through word of mouth. It's amazing how many people have noticed, Fred has written a post about this, how much email is a referral to a website. And social media. Many, many sites now, especially the most conversational ones, are being driven by Facebook and Twitter now. So how to unite these two ideas, this idea of sort of this big scaled, I can wrap my arms around a lot of sites, ad networks, with the soul of a conversation, which is what, at the heart, publishers are so good at doing. With thousands and millions of sites that are publishing sites, how do you put the two together? I think this is probably the most important question we have right now in our industry. Getting some soul into the network. I have a few ideas as we think about our jobs as marketers. Rethink the idea of making creative and think about it as adding value to a conversation. Rethink buying media and think about making media. Rethink reach to creating a platform for the distribution of the value you add. And rethink our brand in the market to our conversation with the market. In other words, join the conversation. So, over the next 2 days, we're going to see examples of many, many leaders come up on stage and tell you how they've done just that. And that's the point of this conference. Here's just a sampling of the folks that you're going to hear from. It's a great group of brands. Last year, I actually went one by one through the program, but I'll spare you that because I'm trying to do this in 5 minutes. So, welcome to the CM Summit.